Hey guys, so here in about half an hour we're going to be having a couple of geese delivered, and they're young geese, but they are fully adult. I think they're a year old. So I wanted to give you some of the best tips and tricks I can for geese. Why geese? For one thing, they are big enough that they cannot fit through regular fencing. So it's a lot easier to keep them in. For another thing, they're big enough that a lot of predators won't mess with them as long as they're adults. Baby geese are some of the favorite food of any given predator. So I like to purchase them as full-size geese. I have yet to raise any geese from hatchling because for whatever reason they attract fox and raccoon and cats from miles around, but I've never lost an adult goose. Hey, backyard self-reliance, I'm a little tired, so if I'm tongue-tied tonight, I'm sorry. So this is the goose house. You see it's pretty big. I'll stand up next to it so you can kind of see how big it is. I like it to be a little bit bigger than a regular chicken coop. I like them to be able to get in and out easily. And if you have geese and you like to sleep at night, you need to close them up at night because every car that drives by, every dog that goes by, every swish that goes swish in the night, they will alert you to it. And they're really good guard dogs, but I would rather just keep them safe inside a coop rather than having them alert me at 2 o'clock in the morning that once again a car has gone past. So it's important to put them up at night. I don't know if this will be good enough if we need to get a black curtain or something. If you do close your animals in, you need to make sure that you have a vent that is good enough for them to breathe. So more vents. And when you first have any poultry come in, you need to have a smaller enclosure that's tall enough to keep them in, even if their wings are clipped, because sometimes when they're afraid they get confused and you don't want them going over to the neighbors or getting run over. That's a lesson that we have learned unfortunately through experience. How do they mix with chickens? They mix fine with chickens as long as they have enough space and as long as there's enough feeders spread out that the low guy on the totem pole has a place to go eat when everyone else is busy fighting. But I find that to be true with all poultry. Multiple feeding and watering stations are very important. They might actually already be here. Either that or it's a plane. Anyway, so geese like a lot of water. There's their water, there's their food. And the reason I haven't given them a pool yet is I'm gonna watch and see what they do for the first couple days, get them acclimated. And then this whole space is gonna be for them. If you want to be successful with poultry and not have them be a mucky mess, give them enough space and give them a job to do. This is part of the food forest. This is part of the orchard. And all these beautiful white flowers are called hoary-crest. The bees love them. The goats can't eat it because it burns their mouth. But it's perfect in the orchard. And so what happens is as I water all of these trees, the geese will go along and eat all the grass around the base of the trees because the grass is wet, the soil is wet there. So what they actually do is they weed directly around the trees, but they don't mess with all the rest of the grass out here. They like it to be tender, they like it to be young, and they like it to be well watered. And so they will graze specifically around the fruit trees. So they are perfect. Ducks will do the same thing, but they are a little bit more prone to predation than geese. And you have to have your fencing a little bit tighter in order to keep ducks in. If I had ducks right now, if I could find ducks right now, I would also have ducks. But I haven't been able to find anything. I really need some muscovies because they'll grow their own babies. But I wanted to show you the setup. See if you can just see the whole thing. That's just their temporary house. This whole cage comes away once I'm ready to have them out. I do not have them in with goats. Never have waterfowl in with goats. You can do chickens, but not waterfowl, because what they'll do is they will foul your goat's water. They'll just destroy it, they'll bathe in it, they'll poop in it, and then your goats will get heat stroke because they won't be able to stay cool and hydrated in the summer. So I have a paddock system that I have set up in which I use just regular poultry type netting and step-in stakes. See that? And it's movable. If I want to move it, I can move it, but it will keep the poultry in. I might have to clip the geese wings if they feel like they need to explore, but we've never had that problem. And this is pretty much just what it's going to look like. These trees are not dead. This is a mulberry, And as you can see, I have fruit and leaves coming on, which is super exciting. And one of the reasons I want the geese back here next to the greenhouse is because it just makes less work for me as far as weeding goes, and also it's not in a space that the kids are necessarily going to want to be, so if the geese turn out to be aggressive, it doesn't hurt anything because it's around the greenhouse. Hey Tubular Guy 9, how are you? We are getting a little further with the greenhouse. I still need to fix the door. That got bumped out many times. I have cardboard on the floor in here, and then I'm going to bring all my weeds that don't have seeds in them. As you can see here, I have some old hay and also some cut down perennial plants. And I'm going to layer that in on top of the cardboard, and then we will put in another hotbed. But at this moment, we are just pretty much waiting for geese. So I wanted to share that with you. I find that if I have geese or enough ducks, I don't have to weed whack, and the trees flourish, not only because they're being weeded, but also because they are being fertilized. It just is a win-win system. And if I don't have geese and ducks, then I have to weed whack everything. It is exhausting. There's just not enough of me to go around, and the ducks and geese would be laying right now, so it would just be fantastic. So we have 2 geese coming, and we'll show you as soon as we have them. Hey Sandra, how are you? It is super fun, and Kaya's out there cuddling. Kaya is right there. That's Kaya, and she's cuddling Chai. So we've had a lot of rain lately, which has been wonderful. And we've just about got the backyard finished. All I need to do is put down mulch, and then I can show you the backyard the way that it should look when it has some mulch on it, which always helps. So geese for the win. I will show them to you as soon as they're here, which will be tomorrow. But it's really hard to do a live stream or any kind of video when you have geese because they talk anytime you talk. They're very conversive little creatures. My hubby, yes, he is right next to the flooding. He's right next to Keystone Dam. Like, it's across the street. And so they have warnings, and he's asked his landlady at what point when they're letting water down does he need to evacuate. He already has all the valuable things up in the attic, and so that's how he's doing. Tubular Guy 9 said, gonna make a greenhouse with PVC pipe and rebar stakes. That sounds awesome. I'd love to see pictures. Okay, Soggy Bottom Homestead said, where are you? Update me. So this is Idaho Homestead, and I'm back in part of the food forest, right next to the greenhouse, getting ready to have geese come in. And John is in Tulsa with all the rain. So, okay, I know I wasn't on for very long, but I do need to go and flag them down if they are bringing the geese.